So I'm Jen, and a lot of you guys have been doing my YouTube videos, the tutorials and dance combinations that I've been posting, and I've gotten a lot of questions about what kind of tap shoes I wear. And for me, that's kind of a loaded question because it really depends on the situation, and that's why I have so many pairs. Not also just because I have a shoe shopping problem when it comes to tap shoes, but whatever, that's fine. So I wanted to talk to you about like my big three. The three brands of shoes that I wear regularly for three completely different reasons. And I'm going to talk to you about each shoe, the brand, why I use that particular shoe, and for what. So here are some, emphasis on some, of my tap shoes. The ones you guys see me wearing in the videos pretty much exclusively is the Bloch Jason Samuel Smith. I have two of mine here. I have them in 4 different colors right now. Listen, no judgment, okay? So I'm gonna use the new patent leather blue one to talk to you guys about. Jason Samuel Smith came out with a gorgeous blue and a gorgeous gray color. He keeps teasing about the rose gold and I'm like waiting, but that's fine. So this is my go-to shoe for pretty much a lot of things. When my companies perform, we perform in JSams because they provide the most like versatility of a shoe, in my opinion. They're heavy enough to feel great when you're doing a lot of these steps. They're heavy enough to be weighted for your wings and to feel like it's not just, you know, a piece of paper on your foot. But they're also lightweight enough to where I can get through a whole hour-long show and it doesn't feel like I have a brick on my foot. So that's a big deal for me. They're a hard sole, but I feel like it's almost a flexible shoe. Like this is the patent leather. It's brand new. Like you can see, I just got these. What I mean by flexible is that I don't feel like the shoe is like just one shape. You know how sometimes you can put on a big bulky shoe and it just feels like a brick? It moves with my foot, and that's great. It also provides what I think is the loudest sound out of all the shoes that I wear. When I hit that wood, it's bam, and so it projects out into an audience, and sometimes the rooms that we perform in are, I mean, I literally would have to run a marathon to get to the end of the back of the room of some of these conventions that we perform in, so it's like, it needs to resonate, and this shoe absolutely resonates. I also love that the tap is so big because it's not going to do that thing where it kind of stops in the middle of your metatarsal and you get that like, you know what I mean? That little feeling when you hit the end of the tap and you're like, whoa, like you're going to fall off a cliff or something. So the tap is really, really nice and big, and I love that about it. Same thing with the heel tap. It's really easy to get like wing sounds because the tap goes all the way to the edge. I just feel like I tap very clearly and very loud, which is a very, very good thing in this shoe. And it's also just the most comfortable. I think my favorite thing about this shoe is that there is no break-in time whatsoever. It breaks in the minute you put it on. Sometimes it, like with the patent leather, it's taking a little longer for the toes to feel comfortable because, you know, it doesn't stretch as much as regular leather. But the inside is just this cushy, soft, like I feel like my bed sheets are made of this material. So I put this shoe on and immediately I can do a show. I do not have to break it in. And I think that's the most important thing because my company performs, I think in 2019 we performed 51 shows in a year. And I went through shoes like this in 6 months. So sometimes I'd have to get a new pair, but I'd have a show this weekend. So there was no break-in time. I put it on, I get on stage. So anyway, that is the JSam. I also have it in black. This is the one I use for the stage with noise complaint. I use my white ones for the stage with rhythm theory, in case anyone was curious. How did I have this? Sure. Okay, next I want to talk to you guys about the Miller & Ben. Oh good, nothing fell over. I thought when I picked this up, everything was gonna fall over. This is the Miller & Ben. This is the triple threat, I think. Yes, it is the triple threat. I was like, does it have a triple stack? Yes, it does. So there's the Jazz Tap, which has like a double stack platform, and then the triple threat, which has 3. I wish I knew more about this shoe. I got this secondhand. Somebody went on a tap dance group on Facebook and said, hey, I'm selling my Miller & Ben's. They're this size. I'm like, oh, that's my size. And then I got them for really, really inexpensive, but they were barely worn. I guess they just didn't fit her, and I feel really bad, but they have served me very well. So what this shoe is about, it's definitely like a go-to shoe for a lot of professionals. I think I've heard from a lot of people, like, you kind of hear this phrase sometimes, you're not a real professional unless you wear Miller & Benz. I've actually heard that from people. So let me just clarify that. First of all, what kind of shoe you wear does not determine whether you're a professional or not. 100%. You can be a professional tap dancer in shoes you got for $10 on eBay, okay? Your shoe does not make you. I'm a gamer as well, and we used to say in World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XI, I'm a big dork, okay? We used to say, the gear does not make the player, and that rings true for pretty much everything. The shoe does not make the dancer. The dancer chooses the shoe that works for them, whether that's working for your budget, or working for your feet, or working for the lofty goals you've had your whole life of owning this precious Miller & Ben. I wish I had the editing skills to make it go, oh. So this is the Miller & Ben Triple Threat. It is a great shoe. I have to say the sound of this shoe is probably my favorite thing. I teach in these. This is my teaching shoe because I have to teach on Marley floors a lot. And the thing about that, I don't know if you guys have ever tapped on a Marley floor. You competition dancers are like, yes. You can't hear anything, but this resonates on Marley. And that is the biggest reason that I teach in these. A lot of times, I know I own all these crazy color shoes, but a lot of times you see me in my videos at studios and I am wearing a black pair of shoes. That is because it is these, and I want my students to be able to hear every sound I make, every single one. And they can do that in this shoe on a Marley floor. I think at every single studio I teach at, I teach on Marley. Wow, I just realized that. It's super comfy. I will say it's not as comfortable as the JSams, so I would not do a show in these. For the shows, I'm literally on stage for an entire hour, non-stop tap dancing, sometimes doing improv comedy in between, but you know, non-stop tap dancing for an hour, I would die. It's hard to get through a 3-hour teaching stint in these, actually. They're comfy, but they're just not that comfy. So I teach in them for the sake of the students, but if I wanted to be comfortable, it would probably be the JSams that I taught in. But they have a really, really high, I think this is called a vamp. I used to sell point shoes, I should know this. It has a really high, I think it's a vamp, so if you have high arches, it's fantastic because your foot's not gonna like pop out of the shoe, because you see with like the JSam, it's not nearly as high. So, oh, why did I move that? I'm scared. Again, the tap goes all the way to the side, so you're gonna get all of your sounds no matter if you're on the side of the tap or on the whole tap. And you'll get all the sounds either way, just some shoes you have to compensate for the fact that the tap doesn't go all the way. We'll talk about that. A lot of heeled taps, they don't go all the way. But I'm not reviewing any heeled taps today, but we can talk about that later. They're not easy to break these in. That's the other thing about this shoe. Fantastic sound. You will not get a better sound than this shoe, in my opinion. But the lack of comfort and the fact that you cannot break these in, even in like a month, means that I just won't perform in these. I'll perform in them if I have to, but I just won't. I think I have performed in these once because I accidentally left all my other shoes at home and I dug through my trunk going, oh good, I have my Miller & Benz. Oh God, I have my Miller & Benz. And then I did the show in these. But it sounded great. It absolutely sounded great. I love them for what I use them for, but the break-in time kills me with these. So yeah, fantastic shoe. If this is the shoe that you love, you made a great choice, is all I'm gonna say. They all have their ups and downs. Oh Lord, now I gotta play Jenga. Okay, I did it. All right, this shoe. This I got at the same time that I got the Miller & Ben Triple Threat from the same person that was selling shoes on some weird Facebook group. They were like, hey, I'm selling these shoes, and they were used. And these are not the colors I would have picked, although they kind of are the colors that match my shirt. Can we just appreciate this for a second? These are not at all the colors I would have picked. I already had my K360 color swatch picked out, ready for me to buy a pair. I forget, I'll post the swatch right about here so you guys can see that, what I would have picked. But honestly, these are really, really beautiful. I love, everyone I talk to loves the color. I had to add, I love changing the laces out, and I added like glittery silver laces. I don't know why. I think that's all I had in my bag, and I just didn't want to use the regular laces. But I really need to change them out. I think if I got like bronze laces, it would look really, really pretty. What I love about this shoe, it has a very crisp, flat sound. So what do I use these for? I use these for performing in ballet productions, and I use these for performing solo videos. Some of the solo videos that I've done, you'll see these shoes because again, they just have that, oh, laces go back in. They just have that really flat sound that I think really portrays well on camera. Camera microphones pick it up with a clarity that other shoes, they resonate too much. And I don't know if you've noticed my videos, but I kind of have a favorite place to shoot. It's the pavilion. Like all of Noise Complaints videos are there. All of my videos are there. Rhythm Theory's videos are probably going to be there soon. Just saying. I'm looking at the camera guy going, hey, we're going to do some videos Sunday. He's like, what? So these have the right sound for video, and I love them for it. And also for the ballet productions, because you don't want to overpower the other dancers by being like the loudest thing in the world. So having like a softer, crisper sound, because you're performing when I do tap dance in ballet productions. That's pretty cool. So it's like either old jazz music or even ballet music, Nutcracker. You don't want to overpower the classical instrumentation. So a flatter sound is so much better. And also, I'm not the Sugar Plum Fairy when I do the Nutcracker, okay? So I don't want to overpower the most important people on stage. I am a member of the cast, but I'm not like the lead. So you want to have a sound that just doesn't like, again, overpower everything else that's on. I love that about this shoe. It is also a very comfortable shoe. I will teach in these sometimes. If I don't have my regular teaching shoes, I'm absolutely happy to teach in these. Every single time I wear this shoe, everyone's like, I love the colors. And I'm sitting here like, thanks, I wouldn't have picked them. But I like it. They're pretty. One thing I don't like is how small the tap is. This tap is much smaller, so you kind of have to change your technique a little bit in order to switch from those shoes to this shoe. But the tap has such a good sound. And I think it's just a difference of which taps you're using. Jenga. So this is a supersonic and Capezio Teletone, so different on top and bottom. Well, that didn't go back in the right place. And this is Capezio Teletone, top and bottom, and then this is a Bloch tap, top and bottom. Why did I do this? Oh, man. Y'all are just waiting for this stuff to fall over. Sean's like, yeah, I'm waiting for this to fall over. I do love that you can customize whether it has a wooden heel or a black heel, because I really, really love the wooden heel. So I think the biggest thing about this shoe and the Miller & Ben that is its biggest selling point, is the fact that it's fully customizable. With both of them, you can customize color, you can customize pattern, actually, because some of these swatches for Miller & Ben's had a different pattern. And then you can also customize like the pattern of the stitching as well. Like you can make your own shoe. Miller & Ben doesn't have one color I was looking for though, but Capezio did. I just like really ugly colors, and Miller & Ben doesn't have army green. It doesn't have olive green. And I was really looking for that to go with orange. Don't judge me. So anyway, as you saw in the color swatch, I really do like the olive green color. But Miller & Ben just didn't have that. But you can still customize pretty much however you want color. And again, they all have a different sound, so you kind of just have to decide what fits your foot, what sound fits the purpose that you have, and whether you want to buy shoes that are customizable in color or just keep coming out with fun colors that you don't really get to customize but go, oh, I like blue, I want that. You know, I actually don't really like blue that much, but they didn't have gray gray's not in stock right now. But actually, I love them. I think that they're beautiful. So anyway, that is the talking portion of this review. I'm gonna try all these shoes on and show you the difference in sound, and yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so these are the Jason Samuel Smith. I decided to use the blue ones for this video. Never mind the fact that they do not match my socks at all, but whatever. You guys always hear me in the white ones, so I figured I would show you these because they are brand new, so you'll have like a new shoe sound. Very exciting. So I'm just gonna do a series of exercises so you can hear what they sound like. You'll notice that these are very loud, and that is my favorite thing about them. I do like loud. I'm gonna do some paradiddles, maxi forwards, pullbacks, and then wings, and then I will do the same with all the other shoes. But again, the comfort is really the #1 seller for these. So this is what they sound like. And that's the sound of the JSam. Again, very loud, very resonating, and it just echoes in such a beautiful way. And so they're my favorite shoe for tutorials because I feel like you'll always hear them no matter how loud I have the music, and they're my favorite shoe to perform in. So yeah, the JSam. All right, so these are the Miller & Ben Triple Threat. I really love the way that these sound, but for my feet, I think they're a little too wide. Maybe if I had custom ordered them, they would have been a little bit more my size. I could have gotten a narrow. But overall, they feel great to tap in. They sound wonderful. They're not as comfortable as the other shoes, but again, if these are what fit your feet, that's fantastic. They're a beautiful shoe. So I'm gonna do some of those moves for you guys so you can hear how these sound. Again, you're gonna get a clear, crisp sound that can be heard very well on Marley. I don't really have any Marley to show you on right now, but that's fine. So anyway, here we go. Oh, I miss the way these sound. I haven't worn these in a while. But yeah, these, do you hear that beautiful higher pitched sound that happens? And it's because it's higher pitched that it really resonates on Marley. So if you are performing on Marley or teaching on Marley, I cannot recommend this shoe enough. But yeah, these are the Miller & Ben Triple Threat. All right, so these are the Capezio K360s. So when I got dressed this morning, I wore socks that would match my shirt. So it does not surprise me that my socks now perfectly match my shoes. And I just wanted to point that out because I feel like it would be doing you a disservice if I didn't. Anyway, you'll also notice that my laces are wrapped around this shoe. That's for 2 reasons. One, my sparkly silver laces are just extremely long. And 2, it's actually an old skating trick that I learned because I used to skate a lot when I was a kid. And I have really narrow feet. But with skating, and now I guess with my tap shoes, if you wrap the laces around because they're just too long, it actually helps cinch the shoe in a little bit. Because if you have narrow feet, you don't just want to be like swishing around in the shoe. And for me, it helps give me a little bit more support. But it's just a personal preference. You do not have to do that. Just don't make fun of me for it, okay? So again, what I love about this shoe is how crisp and flat the sound is. It doesn't resonate nearly as much as the other 2 shoes, but for video recording, for like performances, that is amazing. And if you want a little bit more of a subtle sound, like if you're performing with ballerinas. The other thing about this shoe is that, like the Miller & Ben, it is not the best thing to break in. It doesn't break in really fast, but it's a little bit more comfortable, in my opinion, than the Miller & Ben. But again, that's person to person. Try on all the shoes and see for yourself, but this is how it fits for me. So I'm gonna do those moves for you guys so you can hear it. these is that when you hit that end of the wing, the sound kind of just stops. It doesn't keep ringing, which is definitely a plus side for video recording. But anyway, these are the K360s, and I am out of breath. So that was my review of the Jason Samuel Smith by Bloch, the K360 by Capezio, and the Triple Threat by Miller and Ben. I hope you guys learned a lot about each shoe, and I hope that that helps you in potentially making a choice of which shoe you want to try out or which shoe you want to own, or maybe you own one of these and you hadn't tried the other two. Before I buy anything big, I read every review. I watch every YouTube review of it that I can find because I want to know more about it before I have to order it. Ordering things, especially something like this that has to be so well fitted, is just so stressful. And if I could alleviate any of that stress for you guys, I hope that I did today. I do have other shoes. If there are other brands that you want me to review, I'd be happy to. To an extent, if I don't own it already, it's probably on my list of shoes that I want to own. So if you're like, can you review this shoe? And I'm like, oh, I don't own that yet, but I'll totally buy it. I will, just so that I can review it for you guys. Also because I have a major tap shoe shopping problem. There's a couple brands I'm not really gonna buy because I know for a fact that they don't fit my feet. But I could talk about them and maybe see if I have a friend who owns one that I could try for you guys. I don't know, so we'll see. But please write down in the comments below if you have different brands that you want me to test out for you guys and give a review on. Finding your shoe is a very important thing. It's like for point dancers, ballerinas, it's finding your perfect point shoe. Because I know, like, you go for a fitting for like an hour. Tap shoes are becoming so stylized and so specific that it's gonna get that way for tap shoe fittings. It's gonna take like an hour for you to find the shoe. It's like we're Cinderella every time we go buy a new shoe. So again, I really, really hope that this helped. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out all my other videos. I've got tutorials galore. I mean, if you want to learn a dance to any particular song, I probably already have that genre at least, and if not the song, you can always request it. I take requests. I have technique tutorials. I've got random videos like this one. I've got contemporary dance tutorials as well, but mostly my channel is for tap dance. I post at least 3 tap tutorials per week, so you can always subscribe, hit that notification bell to know when I'm going to post a different video and get your tap on with me. And yeah, join the tap fam. Just like that, hitting that little, anyway, that's too much of an advertisement. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video by saying thank you for dancing with me.